From action-adventure games to Dracula's castle to a wasteland in the capital, I give you my top 10 games across multi-platform of all time. Number 10, Vice City. Now, while this Grand Theft Auto game is a little out of date compared to things like Grand Theft Auto 5, I still feel that it deserves a place in the top 10. What makes this game so fantastic to me is the story, the characters, the music, and the voice actors that they got to play the parts of the characters. People like Ray Liotta from Goodfellas playing Tommy, to Phil Collins from Genesis and Phil Collins as the singer of Love Fist. This game is funny, exciting, and honestly, it is one of the best Grand Theft Auto games ever made. Number 9, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. Holy shit, what a game. Look at this. This was an absolute game changer for the Castlevania franchise, making everything an exciting, much more challenging game than the previous Castlevanias. You follow along the vampire Alucard, which is Dracula spelled backwards. This game takes place entirely through Dracula's castle, and then you have to go back through it upside down. The same map upside down. It's actually quite genius the way that this game was put together. I will forever remember this Castlevania game as being the best Castlevania in the series. Number 8, Resident Evil 2. While many may differ in their opinion on which game is the best Resident Evil game of the series, I prefer Resident Evil 2. While the voice acting does definitely lack,
Murdered my husband. I know what you're looking for. You came for the G-Virus, didn't you?
there are still some really awesome elements of this game that make it a phenomenal gaming experience. This was one of the first survival horror games that I actually enjoyed so much that I wanted to play through both sides of the story, and one of the first games to ever have that option available for you. You can play through the first part of the story as either Leon Kennedy or Claire Redfield. It is up to you. And then once you have finished that person's campaign, if you will, through the game, you can then play through the campaign again via the opposite character, while providing a separate gaming experience as you play through the other character's version of the game. As you make your way through the police station all the way into an underground facility of umbrellas, this game offers you action, suspense, horror, and above all of the characters, I believe, in the Resident Evil series, this one had the most memorable. Number 7, Super Mario Bros. 3. The first one of its kind to show an overhead view of the maps and allow you to choose the stages you wanted to play through. This game was a groundbreaker when it came to the Super Mario Bros. Games. Again, an arguable preference of the Super Mario Bros. Franchise. Super Mario Bros. 3, in my opinion, was the best of the series. This one changed the way that we looked at Super Mario Bros. And honestly is the first game of the series that really depicts Mario the way we see him today. Before that, it was basically just an 8-bit pixelated version of Mario, and you were left to your imagination to decide what you would really think he would look like in real life. While making your way through the wooden ships, trying not to get hit by bullet bills and cannonballs, you have to make your way to the Kid Koopa lair, children of King Koopa, or Bowser if you will. All in all, there are 8 worlds with multiple stages, and each level getting harder and harder as you go along. This game will always be a real challenge to anybody who sits down in front of it and tries to go through it all the way from start to finish. If you've never done that, get yourself a Nintendo Entertainment System or a Super Nintendo and buy yourself Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario Bros. All-Stars and experience this game for yourself. Number 6, Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid is the third installment of the Metal Gear series, the first 2 games being on the original NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. You don't have to have had played those games in order to understand what's going on in Metal Gear Solid, except for one specific part, when you're fighting the cyborg ninja Gray Fox.
Gray Fox! Colonel, that ninja is Gray Fox. No doubt about it.
Ridiculous. You of all people should know he died in Zanzibar.
No.
He should have died, but he didn't.
That is referencing one of the first two Metal Gear games. You can play through this game without playing those and not miss anything, honestly. Everything about this game is phenomenal, from that experience to the Psycho Mantis experience, where you're playing the game and all of a sudden he's telling you what games you like to play.
So, you like adventure games? You seem to like The Legend of Zelda, don't you? You like action games? Oh, so you've played Super Smash Bros. Melee before?
Especially in the late 90s, things like that did not really happen that often. And I remember being pleasantly surprised and a little creeped out on how did Psycho Mantis know what kind of games I like to play. This experience was actually ported into the Nintendo GameCube version of the game, which is called the Twin Snakes. If that game would be a little bit more up your alley as far as graphics goes, and you would rather play that than the old PlayStation version, by all means, play the Twin Snakes version. It is just as enjoyable. Number 5, Battlefield Bad Company 2. Of all the Battlefield games, to me, this one is the most fun to play. Taking you all the way to places like Vietnam back in the 60s during the Vietnam War. The add-on DLC was perfect for this game, allowing you basically 2 games in one. Now, while the Vietnam did not have any kind of campaign, the regular campaign of Battlefield Bad Company 2 honestly makes up for it. It's the most entertaining cutscenes out of all the Battlefield games. I love the characters in this, even though this guy looks way too much like Jake Gyllenhaal for my liking. But these 4 characters are my favorite characters out of the Battlefield games. I really wish that they would do a Bad Company Battlefield 3. I hear, however, that they're trying to stray away from this kind of Battlefield experience, which is honestly too bad. It's very disappointing. I would love to see a Battlefield Bad Company 3. Number 4, Majora's Mask. This is undoubtedly the most dark of all the Legend of Zelda games. From all the game theorists out there who want to tell you that this game is about the death of Link, I really enjoy that idea. As you can see, it is much more sinister in atmosphere right from the very beginning of the game. You play through this game through different versions of your character, from a Deku boy all the way to a Zora type of character, making your way through the temples, chasing down the son of a bitch Majora. What draws me to this game is, in fact, the dark atmosphere and the sinister overtones that I haven't felt in a Zelda game since the original first 2 Zelda games on the NES. Zelda 2 being the darker of those 2, I believe. This one tops all of them. Not to take anything away from Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is a fantastic game, but something about going through all of this and meeting all the characters that you meet through collecting the masks. There are some that are just the most saddest stories you've ever heard. Overall, while this game might leave you feel a little bit depressed and maybe hating life a little bit, this game is well worth playing through, and if you haven't, by all means, there is a new version of it, 3D version even, on 3DS. Check that out. I guarantee you'll enjoy it if you do love the Zelda games. Number 3, Skyrim. Right from the very beginning of Skyrim, it leaves you wondering what is about to happen. What will happen next? What is my fate? The beauty about that is it's all up to you. It gets you really interested right away in the story and then leaves you up to your own devices. You could be a good person, you could be a bad person, you could be in between a little. From being a vampire hunter to exploring ancient elven ruins and seemingly endless caverns, to being a werewolf and ripping your enemy limb from limb, this game offers you anything you could ever want in an RPG experience. Number 2, Fallout 3. I chose Fallout 3 over Skyrim for the simple fact that if Fallout 3 hadn't existed, Skyrim never would have existed. Being able to explore the capital wasteland, Washington, D.C., in a Mad Max-style atmosphere was breathtaking. It was beautiful, even though it was all ripped apart. Stepping out of that vault for the first time and seeing the Washington Monument way off in the distance, something about that just sent chills up my spine. one of the things that makes this game so great, of course, are the characters. Even though they had Liam Neeson play the father, I really can't stand Liam
Bright
Neeson.
future ahead of you, son.
I shouldn't say that because
sure of it.
he has a special set of skills.
Look at you.
But what is not to love about Three Dog? I love listening to Three Dog while I'm in the wasteland. He makes it seem not so lonely. That's his job. And Three Dog's job isn't only to make you feel a little less alone out there in that capital wasteland. His job is to also entertain you. What a fine selection of music he plays, even if he does play the same songs over and over and over and over and over again. I'm sure that music is not really in abundance in a post-nuclear apocalyptic world. Number 1, Final Fantasy VII. This game is undoubtedly the favorite among almost all Final Fantasy fans. There is a reason why we have been asking for a remake ever since the PlayStation 2. Finally, they're going to deliver this, and I cannot wait for it. I'm excited because I want the younger generation to be able to experience this game the best possible way that they can. I know a lot of them wouldn't be interested in playing it in an actual PlayStation, the original PlayStation. It's understandable. The graphics on that are quite a bit out of date. However, someone like me can actually sit down behind a regular PlayStation and play this game to this day and enjoy every last bit of it. The cutscenes are emotion-evoking. When you see this cutscene as the first cutscene in the game, my God, you are ready to whoop some ass after you see this. This game will make you cringe, it'll make you cry, it'll make you laugh, it'll piss you off. This game is phenomenal, and if you haven't been able to experience it, by all means, experience it whenever the Final Fantasy VII Remake is released. I know that these titles are a lot older than some of you may have been expecting. Older does not mean worse, and newer does not mean better. What is your favorite top 10 games of all times? Please tell me in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. This is the first top 10 video that I have ever done, and if you would like to see more of them, click like to let me know, and if you want to, leave a comment letting me know that you'd like to see more of these kinds of things. I would love to do more of them for you, and if these are the kinds of videos that you like to see, if these are the kinds of videos that you want to see more of, I'm sure you're going to love the videos that are on my channel, so please, if this is the first time you've ever checked me out, go to my channel, click subscribe. I guarantee you'll be happy you did. New videos every week, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.